Okay. Should I slate it, I guess? So we have had some people ask questions about what is Portland like? Is it safe? What's the homeless or the houselessness situation? Is it dangerous? So we're in North Portland, and I thought we would take some video. We're near, right now, Concordia University, although all of a sudden the trees are blocking it. But we thought this area was so cute the first time we drove through it. So we're in, I guess this is the North Portland area. We don't come to Portland all that often. I love a black house. Love a black house, yes.
Black house, baby.
We come to Portland, I would probably say, what, once or twice a week?
Yes.
And neither of us are really good at directions in the city, remembering what streets are there, exactly what neighborhood we're in. So I've managed to get the general grasp of northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast Portland, and then a totally separate area is North Portland, which I guess I'll just have to show you on a map because it's a little confusing. When I first heard North Portland, I'm like, wait a second, is North Portland in the north side or the east side? And the answer is neither, I guess. So we're going from North Portland, and here's an example of what some houselessness looks like. Now, we're not in downtown, we're in North Portland. We're actually not that far from the airport, like, let's see, checking the map. So if you had, I don't know, the elevation, and we're looking straight through this wall here, the airport is directly straight from where we're looking. So we're getting on a pretty busy thoroughfare. This connects northeast Portland to North Portland. This is called the 30 bypass.
So this is like Killington, or was Killington, and maybe that's
Killingsworth or whatever.
Killingsworth or something.
I'll have to give them some context. It starts out as something else. I think we get onto it from Killingsworth, but it also becomes Lombard. Probably one of the more northern thoroughfares that can take you from the east side of Portland, like northeast Portland, the airport area, where the bridge, like the 205 bridge is, over to I-5, and then really all the way through North Portland, almost to Portland University, I think. So anyway, it's a very industrial area, but you have, on the south side of the street, you have homes, and then on the north side, I don't even know if I call this a street, this is like a highway, or a what exactly is a bypass, but anyway.
And it also, again,
speak loud.
Benefit. So, like, why would someone from Southwest Washington be around here? We're not that far. Well, back the other way is the airport Costco, right?
Yes.
So if you wanted to come into Costco for whatever reason, you would be here. And what else? Like, what else would someone access this area for?
I don't think there's much reason to access this area in terms of like your everyday Southwest Washington resident. I don't think that they're needing to access this very often. If more behind us, like on the east side, they have certain business, like Volvo service. If you had like business trucks.
Yeah, like this is an industrial area, so there are reasons, you know.
Yeah, or what does this say here? Something kidney care? I don't know. So yeah, I can't really think of an exact reason why you would access this area.
Well, one of the reasons you wanted to make this video was because almost like an answer to a question that we recently received based off of someone else's video saying, you know, talking about the state of Portland and houselessness, right?
Yeah, there's a very popular YouTuber who makes videos about different areas of the country, and someone had reached out to me and said, what do you think about so-and-so's video?
Not to cut you off, but if I'm not mistaken, right there is a food pod, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we could tag that because we did a video.
Put your hand down.
Coming the other way.
Did you put your face for it on purpose?
Yes. Sarcastic.
Jokester. Class clown. If you ever meet Jared in person, he has a very healthy sense of humor. So, we're still on technically 30 bypass, which I think has another name when you were over here.
So I was trying to figure out reasons someone would come here. So if you wanted to go to one of the popular food pods, food car pods, that's a reason, right?
Mm-hmm. This is also called Northeast Lombard Street.
Lombard. I like how you say that.
How would you say it?
Lombard.
Lombard?
Yeah, that's how there's a Lombard. Downtown Philly is a Lombard. You say Lombard.
Well, it isn't O, it's not a U. So this gives you an idea of what an average area, I mean, this is obviously on a busy street, but what an average area of Portland looks like from a residential standpoint and also slightly industrial. Now, I do know that this entrance we're about to get on the I-5 South, which if you live on the west side of Vancouver or in Hazeldale or Salmon Creek, you would probably use the I-5 bridge to get into Portland. So this would be a pretty common view. Now, if you live on the east side or Camas, Washougal, you will more likely use the 205 bridge to get into Portland, and then you'll probably go south on 205 to get on 84, which will take you across the city into downtown. Although a lot of times when we're accessing Portland, we're not going to downtown Portland. I was telling someone the other day how downtown Vancouver is definitely not the center. So this is half that. So this is, whoa, that is a lot bigger than I remember. So this is kind of the state of the highways. And so the person who reached out to me said it's not pretty, and my answer to that was, well, homelessness is never pretty. Like, it's not something that I think people would consider beautifies the city or adds value to the city. And while I think Portland has maybe more tents in different places, I don't find it to be any worse statistically than any other major city. Like, I think statistically LA is the worst for homelessness, last I heard.
Right, and I think people should put things, you should put everything into context. So typically you see these camps on ramps and off ramps. For whatever reason. But I don't know, like every city I've ever lived in had some level of homelessness. So, and I think that's more a state of our country than a state of Portland or the Pacific Northwest.
So going back to coming into Portland, downtown Portland is not the center of activity or things to do. Neither is downtown Vancouver the center of life and activity in downtown. Wait, downtown Vancouver isn't the center of life in Vancouver either. We've pretty much always lived on the east side and don't have reasons to go into downtown Portland, even on a weekly basis outside of our run group.
So I like how one of your previous videos, you said, if you want to get involved and lend a hand or donate time, to me, you have plenty of opportunities here and in downtown Vancouver to do so. But other than that, I'm always asking myself, well, how does it affect you? So homelessness here doesn't affect us any more than it did in Los Angeles or Atlanta or Philadelphia for me,
Yeah, I think it's, like you see, I see them mostly like those camps near on-ramps and on the sides of the highway, but the places you actually go, you don't see it as much.
Right, so that's why we're going to shoot this video, is to kind of go in some common places that we go.
Yeah, so we're going to show you, we're going to go to Nob Hill. I wonder if there's traffic because of construction. I would say this is slightly heavier traffic than usual for a, what time is it? 12:30 on a Thursday.
It's Eagles fan.
Fly, Eagles fly. So yeah, you get a glimpse of...
Must be a good view to pan around, kind of let people see you.
Alright, so we are... What bridge is this? I don't know the names of the bridges. We had breakfast up on that bridge when we did Bridge Pedal. So you have this industrial area here and the Willamette.
And the hills over there.
And then you have the Portland Hills. That's downtown right here. You gotta go over a bridge. If you don't like, that would be a reason. We're gonna produce a video, reasons not to move to the Portland area, and one of them is probably if you're afraid of bridges like my mother is. And my sister, neither of them like bridges. I'm like, I would rather be on a bridge than in a tunnel any day of the week.
Is that a common thing, being afraid of bridges?
I don't know about common. My mom's afraid of heights. I would say that's pretty common. Oh, and then to the north, where am I looking? Right there, I'm zooming in. That's like the Forest Park area. Great hiking, things to do. We don't know our way around, as you can tell. We heavily rely on GPS. I mean, doesn't everybody?
St. Mary's Cathedral.
What is this little Victorian?
Check out those trees, y'all.
Oh.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff.
If you've made it 15 minutes in, you've probably already seen this. It's going to be a long video because we're just driving in real time. I don't even know if I'm going to edit this. I might just post it.
Because obviously people want to know, okay, what's Portland really like? So we've taken you now from an industrial area, right? The highways to downtown. And
I think that downtown actually looks better, right? Like, and again, we're just obviously driving you to areas we go. So we're going to go to Nob Hill. We're going to take you to the Tom McCall Waterfront Park, which is a little bit touristy, but then you have a lot of locals that go there. And then what's the other area that I said we were going to? Oh, the Portland, where they, PSU, Portland State University, where they host the Portland Farmers Market, the Better Portland Farmers Market.
Mm-hmm. Is that also where we go to the GSOC meetings?
Yes.
Is any of this going to be in your upcoming visitor/relocators resources?
Yes.
Oh.
So one thing that I find interesting is that when you get off the highway, I personally think...
Can you see the dirt on the windshield? Should I clean it?
No, I can't see.
Okay.
Y'all, if our windshield's dirty, please excuse us. It rains here. No, I think it'll make it worse. It's like, can you see it? It looks clear to me.
It's really clear. So we're at the intersection of Northwest Gleason and 18th Avenue.
So I think that when people make these videos about downtown Portland, I think they do it for clickbait and they do it to sensationalize things. And I'm not saying that it's perfect. Like, there's flaws if you pause the video and you zoom in on the sides of the streets. Like, okay, there's someone's tent on the sidewalk. But I personally think at least the parts of downtown that we personally frequent as people who live in Southwest Washington and go into downtown Portland for a limited number of things, which are typically events and restaurants, and that's pretty much it. That being said, I think that the highway looks a lot worse than the actual downtown. So when people talk about and the media portrays Portland as being on fire and uncontrolled and the homeless people have taken over and the anarchists and all this, however you see the media portraying Portland, I mean, I'm sure you know. To me, as someone who doesn't live here, this is perfectly fine. I'd be perfectly comfortable, even by myself as a woman, walking in the daytime. We're homebodies, so we're not out at night. But
I would love to. You're good at this, but like strictly a crime statistic from downtown. Like I would be curious to see, and just from my eye test. Wait, it's just that I've arrived. Where am I at?
Apparently,
from my eye test, you know, and growing up in Philly and having a little bit of street smarts, if you will. Like I'd be curious to see, right? I could be totally wrong from the numbers, just the statistics, but I put Portland up where I'd like to see how it compares to other downtown areas, whether it's downtown Austin, Texas, you know what I mean, or
from a crime standpoint.
Yeah, just from a crime standpoint.
So Nob Hill is, because I'm sure I'm going to get this in the comments, Nob Hill is a more high-end, yuppie area of town. We go there because we like restaurants. It's real cute. You've heard me say it's like San Francisco. Is this 23rd? Did you pass 23rd?
I don't know.
No, we're coming up to it next. This is Legacy. They have a few hospitals in the Portland area. So this is definitely not like a working class or poor part of the city. But again, we live in Southwest Washington, so when we're coming to Portland, this is typically why we come. Make a left.
Oh, that's fine.
So northwest.
Philly steak places.
It's on to the right. Make a right if you want to go by the steak place. But I think there's more. Are we in the middle of Nob Hill or the start? I can't tell. Told you, y'all. We don't know our way around.
But this is like very what you call like a village, right?
Yeah, it's got. To me, it
Shops.
reminds me of San Francisco. That's what I say. Hey, we ate
there. We parked our bikes there. Remember?
Yeah.
So this is kind of like higher end.
Yeah, Salt and Straw, very famous, well regarded. Ice cream shop, I personally think it's overrated, but
I do too.
I thought you liked it.
I don't think it was worth that line that I had to endure.
Oh yeah, there's often a line out there.
Don't worry about your door, lady. Don't worry about your door.
So this gives you an idea.
It's your favorite, do you still like Lush?
I do like Lush,
All
and
right.
they have Keels here, so you'll see higher end stores. What is this?
Shout out to Lush.
They got a Prana store.
Whoa. There's an Arc'teryx store.
Ford Gray, whatever that is, looks like a boutique.
Yep, Arc'teryx.
Mac, Arc'teryx. So spendier part of town. McMiniman's Ram Head. So this is Nob Hill. Ah! Okay. More downtown footage. So, Burnside, the street that we're on, divides North and South Portland. So if you're on the Burnside Bridge and you are over the Willamette, that's like the center point of, isn't Pioneer? Yeah,
We're in Rack Attack.
And where the Timbers play.
Yeah, this is
right
Fred
here.
Meyer Supermarket overlooks.
This is where the Timbers play.
Yeah, they have a little
Providence
lounge there.
Park. And there's a Fred Meyer across the street, which I can't really
I'm
show
gonna ride
you.
by there if you don't mind.
Oh, nice. Can you make a right? Oh, left. Okay. Watch out for this person crossing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So this is Providence Park, where the world famous Portland Timber play, right? Rack Attack.
They typically close the street down while the games are going on.
Yes, but they have the whole block for bicycle parking, which I think is amazing. Don't you?
I do. I love that Portland is like the Amsterdam of America. So, yeah, I don't know. What I call, I mean, it's pretty for like, you know, concrete jungle style. Like, for being a downtown, it's really pretty and cute. And oh, so I don't even know if I finished my thought. Sorry for the half. I was gonna say half baked, but I think that's the wrong phrase too. Like I started open loops. Anywho, I started a few thoughts and haven't finished them. And I don't know if I finished this one, but what I was saying is that I think that the camps, the encampments and the tents and all that on the sides of the highway are a lot uglier than actually in downtown. Like, looking around downtown, I see more construction than anything else.
Destination. That's music.
Live music, huh?
It's the Windsor Casimir.
I think that one of these buildings, where are we? I can't see. Is like that big pink building people talk about, and there's that, what's it called? Portland City Grill, where they have that nice view or something. We haven't been there. Thanks, COVID. I guess we could have went.
Welcome.
Because it's an example of taking advantage of things while you can, because we weren't in a rush to do and see everything that Portland has to offer, and now there's a lot of stuff that we can't. Oh, there it is. They call that Big Pink. You see that building that we see from Portland all the time?
That's it?
Yeah.
Why does that building like it's 100 stories tall from a distance?
I'm doing a really bad job showing them. I'm looking around. I'm like a tourist when we come into downtown.
That's the cool part about living in Southwest Washington. You can be a tourist twice a week.
I feel like I opened another loop and then my squirrel brain got distracted. Hey, didn't we go there, Higgins?
We sure did.
Right?
Like you said, we're near PSU.
So this is more of the south side of downtown, where the Portland State University is. So one of the cute things about the Portland's PSU campus is this green space that they have going through the middle. We took a Segway tour.
That was one second. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, we took a Segway tour when we first moved here, which was great. I was very nerve-wracking getting on a Segway, but it's actually easier than walking. So
I loved it.
It was great.
It was about, it was like what, 2 hours or an hour?
I think it was 2 hours. Oh. So, this looks to me like any other downtown I've ever been in.
Isn't that on fire?
Market Street Pub, another McMinimans.
Oh, I can see the nice little courtyard in there.
Post-COVID, you know what would be a cool video to do? Is like visit a bunch of the most famous McMinimans, like Kennedy School and Edgefield. That would be fun. So there's no strategy to this route that we planned out. We're just showing you different things, and we figured if we route a few different places, you'll get a good picture of what downtown looks like, a broad picture. So you have running trails. I don't know if you can see the people running along the waterfront. It's much nicer when there's not construction. When we did Bridge Paddle, didn't we go over the Hawthorne Bridge here? Or was it a different bridge?
Yeah, the Hawthorne Bridge.
Bridge Paddle is great. I hope that we can do that post-COVID. Spread love. Seek justice. See humanity, defend truth, defund hate, spread love, huh?
I was actually about to turn that way, but it's one way.
No, it's one way. So go make a right on the next one.
Yes, ma'am.
Whoa. station. Ooh, I like an ivy on it.
The whole building's covered in ivy. What building is that? Can you tell?
I don't know. So that was a very extended video of what downtown Portland looks like today, which is, what's today's date? Is it the 8th of April?
April 8th.
April 8th, 2021. You can see what downtown looks like. We tried to drive a variety of places that we go, or places that, and figuring that in between you're seeing, you know, what downtown Portland actually looks like. Is it as salacious as people make it out to be?
You be the judge.
You be the judge. I don't think so, but you know.
Hey, that's a Tilica Bridge.
I'm trying to think of what downtown wouldn't look like that. I don't know, maybe Charlotte doesn't look like that. But I mean, if you're talking about New York, LA, San Francisco, Seattle, I'm guessing Denver even? Like what major city doesn't look like this, where you have, I mean, people, you can tell people are out like walking, they're working, they're riding their bikes, there's some tourists mixed in there, there's a couple, and like maybe in Portland there's like more tents on the street, on the sidewalk, but I wouldn't say, at least the areas that we drove today, I wouldn't say it was an overwhelming amount. What would you say? It is what it is.
I think it's, like you said, I think a lot of it's for clickbait. Because ultimately, you know, does it take away from your quality of life? My answer is no, it doesn't, right? So the bigger answer is, well, why is there any homelessness? That's a whole other video. But as you guys are seeing, downtown Portland 2021, this is the state of it. And it doesn't look any worse than any other city that I've spent time in. So if you're thinking about moving here, or to Southwest Washington, where we live.
Yeah. And then if you live in Southwest Washington, I mean, the amount of times that you would have to come downtown is...
That building's like a dog building.
Almost never.
See how it's round on both ends? Portland Plaza condos. It's like a dog boat to me.
It does look like a dog boat. Maybe that was the inspiration, the architectural inspiration.
It's terrace.
So yeah, I think we were saying that, yeah, if you live in Southwest Washington, if you don't like downtown Portland, you never have to come to downtown Portland. I can't think of one reason why you would have to be down here.
And it's probably because you don't like downtowns, period, if I'm being honest, right? Like I've been to downtown.
Not me, but you're saying this person, this hypothetical
whoever,
person.
Right? Like I've been to Manhattan, I've been to, you know, I've been wherever. You name the downtown, Chicago. You probably don't like downtowns, which I can agree with. Like, that's the reason we don't live in Portland. Like you call yourself a suburb girl. Like, I'm not a suburb guy, but I appreciate the quiet, the quaint, you know, and still be within short distance from some culture, some life, and some variety.
Vibrance.
Some vibrance.
It's just like, what do you want, you know? How do you want to live your life? What do you want to do? Full pictures. Do we pass this tent? No. And if you want to be, you know, stay in your little suburban bubble, you can do that too. Like you can create your own experience here.